Hey everyone, this is Kurisu, and tonight I'm going to be working on this piece for Nova Helix, who just joined us here in chat. In addition, tonight is Q&A night if anybody has any questions. Unfortunately, I don't have either of our doggo co-hosts right now with me. Hoki hasn't been feeling great after getting some vaccines, but is starting to feel better, but she's napping. And then Hambone just wanted to have some time alone. So I will go ahead and reject that real quick, Relent, so that you get your points back. Give me just one moment here. I apologize for that. About 95% of the time we have a doggo co-host, but just not tonight. Oh, I love that thumbs up with the little toe bean paw pad. But yeah, tonight I'll be working on shading. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, just feel free to ask in chat. And then in the meantime, I will keep working on this piece. So, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you all had a great day and or are having a good morning so far. I know my stream is kind of in an awkward time at the moment. Pretty good. Currently on a 2-day break. That is always worth it. I'm glad to hear you're getting some time off, Nova. welcome to chat, Raven Queen. How are you tonight? Awesome, I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. It's definitely much needed and far overdue. I totally understand that sentiment. Almost snapped pretty bad yesterday, and it basically boiled down to you telling your boss that you're either done or taking a full reset. Yeah, that is totally fair. Especially, like, depending on how many days you have to work in a row, depending on how many hours you work at a time, which, if I remember correctly, I think you've mentioned 12-hour days before, which can be exhausting, definitely. But yeah, I definitely always support people taking time to prioritize their well-being. Speaking of which, Dark is napping right now because he had a long day at work. So he probably won't be joining us tonight. That said, it is still Q&A night. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to ask. Hey, welcome to chat, Zoom. But yeah, unfortunately, it'll just be me answering questions. But I am happy to do so. In addition, unfortunately, we do not have a doggo co-host tonight, so any redeems that are related to doggo co-hosts will be rejected so that the points get given back. How have I been? I have been doing alright. I had a few days when I was kind of just a little burnt out, I guess. But doing better now. So yeah. I just have a tendency of not sleeping ever. So I just kind of have like a day or two every now and then when I just go into hibernation mode. But I'm back, so everything's good to go. Oh no, Raven Queen used my hydrate redeem. Tonight I am drinking black tea. And that portion of our stream was staying hydrated with Kurisu. Yay, hydration! Zoom beat me to it. you're trucking basically every day, all day, only taking time at home whenever you need to. And usually that's only when you need to. Is when you get a DJ gig or are working at an event, so still pretty much working on your time off. Yeah, that's relatable. Sounds fantastic. It definitely is. The tea not working all the time. But yeah, also everybody, please remember to stay hydrated, because staying hydrated is difficult. So I applaud everybody who does it. I'm not anybody's mom, Zoom Zoom. I claim Pupper and Doggo, though. So, has anybody done anything fun or exciting this week? It wasn't this week, but it's actually a couple weeks ago at this point. Wow. Dark and I went to see the Demon Slayer movie. That was pretty great. I would say, like, if possible, I'd recommend watching the series beforehand if you haven't, just because things will make a lot more sense. But I've heard from a lot of people who watched it and didn't watch the series that they still enjoyed it. So I guess take that how you will. Hey, welcome to chat, Jin. How have you been? I hear snoring and I don't know if it's Dark or one of the doggos. I'm doing pretty great, thanks for asking. You're doing pretty good. You've been drawing more lately. That's awesome. If you have a page you would like me to share, if you want to send me a whisper, I can link that in chat. Unfortunately, I do have links blocked in chat just because, like, we get bots here occasionally and I don't want them to share links. But yeah, I am always happy to support other artists. That said, there's no obligation. Yeah, I totally understand that. If you ever change your mind, I am happy to share though. Your art style is definitely not up to date as of currently. Yeah, I definitely understand that feeling. I want to say out of all the art that I currently have on most of my pages, I have maybe like, aside from my, no, that was actually technically last year, I think. Like this year I only have like maybe 5 or 6 new drawings, so I get where you're coming from. Nova says, I was thinking about going to the EDM festival here in Charlotte, but you're not down for spending $200 on standard admission ticket for DJs and producers that you're not familiar with. That is fair. Which festival is it? I know there's a few here in Ohio, but unfortunately I don't remember what they're called. But yeah. It's the Breakaway Music Festival. Let me see what festivals we have here, because I know there's one coming up, if it hasn't already passed. Let's see. In Ohio, one of them is the Lost Lands Music Festival. Let's see where that is. That is in Legend Valley in Thornville. The founder is Excision, which I know is a pretty popular artist as far as EDM goes, but it's not necessarily a style that I listen to regularly, so I don't really know a whole lot. I'm actually not sure where that is in relation to here. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's only about 40 minutes from Columbus. That's not bad. Oh yeah, that was September 19th through 21st, so I missed that for this year. It's funny, I had actually considered going. I think that, yeah, that was just last weekend. But yeah, I'll get back. Can't talk. Sorry. I'll get back to shading this. Yeah, that's fair. Like, it's crazy how much they charge for some music festivals. Like, I don't know, a lot of I actually have to see how much the Sonic Temple Festival is this year. Because there is a festival here in Columbus. There's actually two. There's Sonic Temple, which used to be, I think, Rock on the Range, and I think Louder Than Life. But those are usually a few $100s just to get in. But there's usually like a ton of really well-known artists. Like a lot of times they'll have like main performances of with like Metallica or Avenged Sevenfold or like, you know, artists that are popular enough that like everybody knows about them. At smaller nightclubs, you only charge $75. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because they have not announced their lineup for this year, but it's supposed to be in May. The next one's in 2026. How much are the passes though? Yeah, so like, oh, that's the stadium. So 4-day general admission in the field, not even in the stadium, but like just in the grass is like $500. Let's see what is included with that. So that's a 4-day general admission field pass. It gives you access inside the stadium for all main stage performances. Enjoy the complete festival. General admission outside of the stadium includes 1 general admission field wristband for all 4 days. But I mean, like I said, there's usually like, I'm not exaggerating, probably about 50 artists playing throughout those 4 days. But I don't know if I'm going this year if it's that much. Because like realistically, if I want to go, that means getting 2 sets of tickets because I don't really want to go alone. Oh my gosh. Every day's an adventure. Alright, let's see how much I have to undo because I just realized I have a random line here where my eraser glitched. Oh, that's fun. That happened a little bit ago. There it was. Okay. So we don't have to redo too much. I don't know. I think part of the $500 is also like just the demand for the people who want to go to that festival in particular. 'Cause that is like one of the biggest festivals in the Midwest, so it's, I don't know, not that it's justified, but I mean, plus, like I said, well, actually, let me see how many artists they have on average. How many artists? Let's see. So, I mean, because part of it is also because there's 5 different stages where artists are constantly performing throughout the whole 4 days. It says over 30. Wait, we'll feature over 30 more bands. I don't know. Yeah, like last year they had over 110 bands. Trying to see who was there because I want to be able to like. Oh my gosh, their website is a mess. It's not actually, it's just like everything being like basically like announcements that their artists, like their lineup is coming soon and they have no actual info. Let's see. Okay, I don't really want to mess with it right now. But yeah, I've always wanted to go, and that's really the only reason why I'm willing to consider it. Have a good night, Raven. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, there's, I don't know, like, I'm gonna have to see who is included in the lineup because there are a handful of artists that I will definitely go to see. Just for example, like if Metallica is there, I've never gotten to see them live, so that's definitely like I would pay $500 just to go see just Metallica. So that's just me though. That's fair. I mean, because to be honest, I would probably say I feel that way about most of the musicians I listen to. But it is also neat being able to, like, feel the impact from the sound, from, like, the drums and the guitar from the speakers and everything. Like, I would say that's, like, I don't know, like, that's really the big difference, in my opinion, between seeing an artist live versus, like, just listening to them on, like, you know, headphones or your car or whatever. Is like, you just get to feel, like, the energy of the space that you're in, just more so than listening to a recording.
This place looks like a deserted mine of some kind. Most of it's underwater now.
Everyone's different. Like, it's hard to explain because usually I don't like being in crowded environments, but for me it's different when there's music there, like, because I, like, hyper focus on the music that's being played, and it's like the other people don't even exist, even though they do. Like, it's, I don't know. That said, like, seeing musicians live is difficult for me in the sense that, like, my ears are really sensitive, so, like, I know I'm gonna get crap for this, but I usually have, like, earplugs, like, because with as loud as everything is, you can still hear everything really clearly, just because of how the sound vibrations work. It's just a little less abrasive. I'm sorry, Nova. That actually really sucks. Because, like, I can only imagine how excited you were to see that live, and then to have that happen must have been really disappointing. Yeah, that really, really sucks. Because, like, I don't know. I understand sometimes people scream when they're excited, but, like, it's so dumb when they do that while the artist is actually performing. That's why you prefer going to nightclubs, especially if it's a paint, slime, or foam party. You pay less than $50 for a Perio reggaeton foam party. I actually enjoyed a new genre more than you enjoyed Bon Jovi, the Bon Jovi concert. Yeah, I get that. Plus, like, I feel like when people do spend more on tickets for a music event, they have higher expectations. So, like, it's a lot easier to be satisfied when you go to, like, a venue that charges a lot less. Like, let's see, there's this one artist that is actually really funny. I'd never heard of them before I saw a random ad on Facebook, but they were basically advertising for a performance here in Columbus, and I'm like, huh, okay, I'll check it out. Because, like, the clip that they had playing on their ad caught my attention. Like, I really liked it, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Because it was like, I don't know, like, I'm having a hard time really describing the genre, because it's like, I would lump it in with metal, but like as a subgenre, and I'm not sure what that subgenre would be. But then it's like, it doesn't all fit that genre, but it kind of does still. But a lot of their songs are kind of like fantasy based and or like kind of, I don't really want to say sci-fi because but I think I paid like $15 or $20 for a ticket, and I actually really enjoyed everything that they played. But that artist is called Bear Ghost. I will spell that out here in chat. Oh my gosh, keyboard, why are you doing this? There we go. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with them. And it's actually interesting because I guess right now they are going on a tour in the UK, which I guess is surprising, but also really exciting for them, I would assume. Because they are based here in the US. But yeah, I'm kind of just rambling. But yeah, that is there if anybody wants to check them out. Like, they have a really unique sound that I can't really compare to any other artist I've heard. Because, like, for sure it's somewhere in the rock umbrella, but has a little bit of everything mixed in. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Let's see. Do they sound kind of like Nightwish or Visions of Atlantis? Honestly, no. Like, they have their own sound. Like, I can't compare to anything else I've heard. Because, like, it's hard to explain. Like, because some of their songs have, like... You had 2.7 thousand points and you see something called the Lemon Rant. Oh my gosh. So, are you familiar with Portal 2? Because the Lemon Rant is one of my favorite quotes from any video game. And like, I cannot explain why it's my favorite. I really have no idea. Wait, you have points? Okay, give me one moment. I'll play it real quick, just so that nobody has to waste their points on this. 1 second here. I just have to find it. Here it is.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these?
But yeah, that's like, maybe 3/4 of the quote.
Scared of beans? Space boy!
No, unfortunately not. Hoki is napping right now, and I'm not sure what Hambona's doing. He likes to spend time by himself sometimes because he gets a little overstimulated. Ooh, that's a good idea. We will go ahead and save. It's so fitting since Nova is a space boy with the beans. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Do you know of any places that offer courses learning Clip Studio Paint? I actually don't know. Which, side note, I actually use a different program. So I use Corel Painter 2019, which is similar, but where Clip Studio is focused more on like creating manga and like animations. Corel Painter is focused more on emulating like traditional illustration and painting. So they kind of just have different focuses, even though they do basically the same thing. YouTube seems to be all over the place for it. That is fair. And actually, give me one moment, because I might know of one website, but I don't know if it's still a thing. I don't remember what it was called. I think it might have been Skillshare. Give me one moment here. I'm not certain because I haven't used it before. The only downside is that I think they do charge for some of the tutorials. But if they do, I think you're able to have like a free trial. Not 100% on that. Because I see on the main page here it says start for free. But I am going to link that here in chat. Follow the link at your own risk. Because like I said, I haven't used this site before, but I think that one sounds familiar, so I think, like, I don't remember where I heard about it from though. Yeah, you're welcome. And also, like, if you ever have any specific questions on something you're trying to do, most art programs, like, carry over from one to another, so I am happy to offer advice if you want it. Like, I would say 3 of the most useful pieces of advice I can offer. Like, believe it or not, with my art style, I only use 2 brushes. I have a soft brush and a hard brush. Soft meaning that it's kind of like fuzzy or blurry on the edges for like more soft shading, and then like a hard brush, and that means that like the edges are like completely rigid. So like I usually use that for like my line art. So I'll switch here real quick. So this, oops, I forgot that I have that selected. So like my hard brush right here, if I zoom in, oops. If I zoom in, you'll see right here that like the edges are not blurry at all. They might be a tad blurry just because I'm zoomed in more than 100%. Oops. But then to compare, I will pull up my soft brush. So, between those two, I literally just change the size and opacity. So like how visible that is. So like here, I'll drop my opacity down to 40%. So there you can see like it's kind of transparent. But yeah, those are literally the only two brushes I use, with the exception of like occasionally if I'm like coloring sand or something, I'll use like a scatter type airbrush, just so I don't have to draw all the individual little dots that way. But yeah, and then I do the same with the eraser. You wish you had you wish Skillshare existed when you were getting into Fruity Loop Studio. I agree. Like, I wish that Skillshare existed for a lot of things. Hey, welcome to chat. Is that Umbralis? And this is Nova Helix that I'm drawing. He is an alien character that belongs to Nova Helix, who is here in chat. This is a commission piece. You need to learn the concept of layers. So the cool thing with layers, so over here, you can see that I have a lot of layers. But I'm going to hide a couple of them. So right here, I'm going to hide my shadows on the body. So here you see like just the solid color. Everybody does things a little bit differently, but I like to have a flat color layer that is just like the local color of part of an object. So basically it's just like that color as it would be seen under neutral light with no shadows or anything, which, you know, doesn't really happen naturally. But then I like to select that layer. So I don't think you can actually see the menu that I have up here, but basically I will select the layer content of my layer with the flat color, and then within that I can make a new layer, and in this case I already have the layers, but these two layers here are my shadows. Oh, Yolurk, awesome, I appreciate that. In addition, if you have any questions, tonight is Q&A night. I am happy to answer. All I ask is that you keep your questions respectful and appropriate. But yeah, in addition to that, as far as shadows go, I always recommend switching to the multiply blending mode. That basically makes it so that, so I'm gonna switch this, yeah, that's the main shadow layer. So I'm going to switch this to normal. So like you can see here with just like the normal shading, it's not really like as vibrant or whatever. And like you can see here, the color is kind of the same over like the green and the pink. But then when I switch to multiply, it basically just adjusts it automatically to match whatever goes over, or whatever color it goes over. Dark makes it look so easy, you know, it's been years for him. Yeah. But I know that both of us are more than happy to answer questions or give advice if anybody ever needs it, especially with art, because it's kind of a specialty. Yeah, you're welcome. Um, if you want me to explain anything that I shared in more detail, feel free to ask. Because sometimes I, like, skip over parts and pieces, not realizing it, just because, like, I do most of this without even thinking. So, like, if I am doing anything on screen and you ever want to know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, feel free to ask. You suppose a lot of learning is trial by fire. There's definitely a lot of trial and error, but thankfully with art, like, unless you are, like, starting out trying to do, like, commissions and whatnot, I wouldn't say it's so much trial by fire, because at least, like, you can kind of learn at your own pace and do everything at your own pace. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into editing sound. Like, really, there's a lot that goes into any type of creative form. Because, like, a lot of people, like, at a glance, usually just think, oh, illustration when you talk about art. But then there's also, like, music and writing and, like, just all sorts of different options. And, like, every single thing requires, like, a certain amount of mastery before it sounds right or looks right or, like, whatever. I'm just glad that we live in a day and age that allows people to have access to that information if they want it. Because, like, I don't know, in previous generations, there were a lot of extra steps that went into doing any amount of research. So, the internet is super convenient. Been working on this massive sci-fi project since 2007, both writing a novel and learning how to make the music to go along with it. Between writing and making music, you were surprised that more opportunities to pursue the music path came before finishing the novel. Yeah, I get that. And that is kind of how it is with illustration too. Because it's like, I am in the process of writing a graphic novel, but I'm still like writing the actual story. And unfortunately, like, due to some factors, I basically have to start from scratch. So yeah, basically, like, I have my characters, like, main characters anyway, like, because obviously Kurisu would be the main character, but yeah, like I said, I'm kind of it, like, yeah. Let's see. Does my program let me select any color from a reference photo to use it in your drawing? Yeah, you can. So, a lot of times if you go to File, Place, that is a pretty standard command in most programs. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this here. So, just random drawing. And then if you use like this eyedropper tool here, I'm gonna switch to this other color. Well, actually, sorry, I wanted to be on a different layer here. Like I can select any color here. So there's the purple, gray, the hair. So yeah. But pretty much in any program. Like, I don't know if all of them would make you paste it on its own layer, but I would venture to say probably. But then, like, the positive with that is that you can just delete that when you're done referencing it. welcome. I am always happy to help if I can. But yeah, it is starting to get a little late, so I think I'm probably going to call this the end of the stream for tonight. Go ahead and save. Oh, I already did. Okay. But yeah, if we have any recommendations for a raid, I am happy to take recommendations. If not, I might have somebody we can go ahead and raid. In addition, if we have any last minute questions for Q&A, let me know and I can hold off on the raid for a minute or two. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody for hanging out tonight. I hope you all had fun. I'm really enjoying working on this piece because it's kind of a nice change of pace. Even though Nova is more like he's an alien, but he's a lot more humanoid than a lot of the characters I draw. So it's nice to change things up sometimes. But yeah. If we don't have any recommendations, I'll go ahead and raid Kobold Curios. Right now they are working on a commission piece. /raid. Alright, we got our raid set up. I hope you all have a great night or great day, whatever it is for you, and I'll hopefully see you all next time. Be safe, everyone.